What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today for another deck profile, and it is for Cubics. So I kind of figured we'd go with Cubics for this one before we start ramping up into like all the new set stuff that has released. So we're hoping we'll have that stuff for like next week when I can do like Zodiac, and then I think I picked up Mutants and I picked up Virtual World as well. So if you are looking forward to those ones, I guess comment down below what you want to see first, and we'll try and get out what we can get out. We will also have, I believe we're going to get Jono on this month to do what's the deck called? Galaxy, those guys. Photons. We'll get Jono on for a Photon profile. So we'll have that one later on in the month. But let's get into this one. But as always, yeah, before we do get started, please remember to drop down below and hit the subscribe button. Almost forgot to say that one. But let's get into the deck profile. Okay, so starting us off for this one, we have, of course, 3 copies of Crimson Nova. The big burn boy is here. He can also do the big swing and do a lot of damage. So you display 3 copies of Crimson Nova. You summon it by having 3 different cubics in hand. So 3 copies of Crimson Nova. You kind of fill out the rest of the stuff. This does trigger with different, like, the spells and traps as well. So it's just 3 different cubic cards. So you do play a pretty heavy cubic lineup on this one. Then we've got 3 copies of Doozer, your primary summon. Allows you to Foolish, and the Foolish spells and trap cards do very good things. So you can either like do defensive loops with Unification. I believe it's Unification does the defensive loop. Yeah, Unification. Or you can send like Karma and stuff like that to like Rhoda, stack the hand, and then you can summon your Crimson Nova. Then next off, we've got 3 copies of the Stall card in Vijam. You don't mind drawing this, although I've found playing 3 copies can be a bit wonky with like some of the other choices we've got later on. But yeah, you can just dump these all with Karma if you want though, and then like make one of your cards bigger. So just play 3 of it for that purpose, I guess. Then we've got 1 copy of Endora, 1 copy of Vulcan, and 1 Garagile, then 1 Buster Gundil, 1 Blade Garuda, and 1 Dark Garnix. I never ever summon these cards. Like, I'm 50% sure that I don't know how they work properly. I simply use them for names, and I am just playing the big boy to like go brr. So yeah, we're just playing each of these. They're different name monsters. You just mill them anyway off the later stuff. So don't stress too much about these guys. A 1-1-1 ratio on each of them is perfect. Then we've got 3 copies of Summoner Monk after that to round out our monster lineup, as it can just summon out your Doozer from deck. You can go into rank 4 plays. You can start link climbing. You can do whichever you like. Then for the spells, we've got 3 copies of Cubic Karma, probably the best one to have in Grave. It's just a Rhoda in Grave, which is really, really good, which is why you play 3 of it, because it's amazing. Then we're playing 2 copies of Cubic Dharma. I considered playing this at 3, but then I kind of figured it's a continuous, so it kind of conflicts a little bit. It does let you discard to draw 1, which can help you get stuff like Karma into the graveyard, but its banish effect is just like a return of a monster. It's still solid, but not like as good as Karma, so we're only playing 2 of it. Then we've got 1 copy of Wave to push that big damage when we need to. Then next off, we've got 3 copies of Monster Gate. You can use it to kind of like loop with your Doozer. So like you can Monster Gate, you summon Doozer, send your Unification, then you can Monster Gate the Doozer away and then use Unification to get another Doozer, which is always good. Then we've got 1 copy of Reasoning. With these cards as well, a lot of your monsters can't be normal summoned or set except for your Doozer, your Vijam, and your Summoner Monk. So there's a 33%, 66% chance you're going to hit something that's useful when you activate these cards and resolve them. Then for the one-offs, we've got 1 copy of Double or Nothing for the one-off spell, simply because we can just make the Utopia Double package incredibly easily. Then we've got 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods, because all of our spells and trap cards are really, really good when they're in the graveyard. So it's pretty stupid to not be playing Foolish Burial Goods in this one. Then we've got 3 copies of Unification of the Cubic Lords. Can help you play like super defensive when you're just like bringing back your Doozers and just like dumping, protect. You can, they're also not once per turn, so you can go like 1 into the other, and then on the 3rd you can summon like the Doozer that just protects you. Then you've got 1 copy of Cubic Ascension and 1 copy of Cubic Casualty here. They're not the best Cubic cards to be playing. They just kind of can come up in niche situations, which is why we're playing 1 of each of them. And then we've got 3 copies of Imperm to round out the main deck. So the main reason I'm playing the 3 copies of Imperm in this one as well is just to avoid having a hand trap that can be hit off Reasoning or Monster Gate. We don't want that. So we're playing 3 Imperm. and let's get to the extra deck. Okay, now for the extra deck, there is a ton of space. You can consider playing something along the lines of like Extrav if you want to. There is like some stuff in here that's not super necessary, but when I was putting it together, I kind of figured, hey, there's some like combos you can pull off in here. So we went the extra deck in that direction. We've got 1 copy of Dagaris to draw 2 cards and try and get us to more names. We've got 1 Tornado Dragon for back row decks. Then we've got 1 Abyss Dweller to floodgate out that extra deck. 1 Baguska, because there are some decks that have a lot of trouble outing Baguska. We've got 1 Cowboy in case we need to push that little bit more damage. And we've got 1 Castell for shuffles. Then we also have a Diamond Direwolf for removal in that sense. These cards, you're never really going to use them. You have much better removal tactics, but rank 4 Turbo, here we are. Then, of course, we have the double package. So we've got 1 Utopia and 1 double. We are playing a Lightning as well if we need to like go into the Lightning to go over something and like stop the activations. Can come up, which is why we're playing it. Then for the links, we've got 1 copy of Pentastag. If you can drop your big boy underneath this, it is almost as good as having a UCT under this. So, good plays. Then we've got 1 copy of Phoenix and 1 copy of Cerberus for our Nightmare package. Then we've got 1 copy of Unicorn to finish that up, and a copy of Access Code. But that will wrap us up here for the deck profile for this one. So as always, if you do have any recommendations or things that you would change, remember to comment those guys down below so if anyone who comes here to check it out can, kind of have a better idea of ways they can go. But as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.